Hello and welcome to Business Edition. In this program, we'll be looking to see how Tanzania Chamber of Industry and Agriculture, TCCIA, in collaboration with various stakeholders, is addressing the problem of non-tariff barriers. And in Entrepreneur today, we meet Azim Jama, who's an inspirational speaker. My name is Yvonne Msemembo saying welcome to Business Edition. I have with me Elibariki Shami. He is the NTB Project Coordinator, the Non-Tariff Barriers Project Coordinator with Tanzania Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, TCCIA. Welcome to the program. Among other issues, we're looking at the issue of non-tariff barriers within the East African region. Sure. And how it affects particularly Tanzania as well when it comes to looking at trade within the East Africa region. So let's start off by looking at how do non-tariff barriers affect transit trade and exportation of products originating from Tanzania?
Basically, statistically we say the non-tariff barrier contributes to the 45% of the all products traded in the East Africa region. The final price of the products, the 45% is contributed to by the non-tariff barrier issues. And here we talk of two things. We talk of transit trade because Tanzania is actually a gate to the trade within the East Africa community. Most of the countries in the EAC are landlocked. Talk of Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. So they mainly use Dar es Salaam port or Mombasa port. Therefore, we are key in transit trade. So if we don't really work on removing the bottlenecks, such as prolonged procedures at clearing the consignments at the port, for example, or the challenges faced too by transporters within the trade corridor. That's what we call as a central trade corridor. The central trade corridor is the corridor starting from Dar es Salaam port to as far as Kigali, Bujumbura, and Kampala. And of course, it goes to as far as to Goma and Bukavu in DRC. So the non-tariff barriers really add the cost of doing business. How? Because if a transporter could spend 5 days instead of 2 days moving the consignment from the Dar es Salaam port to Bujumbura, it is a cost addition.
The cost addition, yes.
Yeah, but if also the procedures at clearance at the port are prolonged, it means the importer will have to pay more money. But also statistically we say a truck that is moving along the corridor and it stays at the border for 1 day, the exporter really incurs to $200 US to $400 US as additional cost. So you can imagine, if the consignment stays at the border for 3 days, you just triple the amount of the cost. Then it is very expensive. That is talking of transit trade. And you see the areas where we really see these issues happening, it is at the way bridges. If you happen to go along the corridor, you realize the long queue happening at, for example, Kiba. Now it has been moved to Vigwaza. You find a lot of trucks, queuing. So it takes time to clear the goods at the way bridge. At the border as well. At the border, you see there are a number of government institutions, customs, TFDA, TBS, plant health, animal health, all these are targeting the same consignment. So if we don't work to reduce the time that it takes to clear the goods, it becomes very expensive. That's for transit trade. For exportation of goods that are originating within the Tanzania, exporting to other countries. Now here is where we really focus the economic advantage of being the regional economic bloc. If we cannot address the bottlenecks, such as registration of products, for example, by TFDA, by TBS. You have a small factory at home, where you're producing little things like, for example, crepes. And you find when you want to export or sell in a broader market, TFDA will want to come and test your factory. TBS will have to do the same. And you see, these institutions are not that friendly to especially small-scale producers. Now, to realize the benefit of the integration, we need to boost on how these SMEs are producing and the ease of putting their products in the market. So we address the issues that relates to procedures, registering a product, for example. But also the same thing that I've addressed regarding the transit corridors. They affect the products from Tanzania, because you have to move your products from Dar es Salaam to Uganda to Kenya. You go through the same route. And you see in 2012, for example, we had about 58 police roadblocks along the central corridor.
But they've come down now.
Yeah, we only have 6 as of now. Here you're talking of a distance of 1,200 kilometers. If a truck is stopped 58 times, it's a challenge. So through the intervention that has been made by several agencies, including Trademark East Africa, supporting this particular project, the roadblocks have been cut down to 6, where they are lined at the way bridges. So you find all the police inspections is being done at the way bridges instead of a separate kind of, checkpoints.
So this partnership with Trademark East Africa and TCCIA, when we're looking at eliminating non-tariff barriers, you talked about the issue of roadblocks, but what else has been done through this partnership?
Yeah, Trademark East Africa has mainly supported the project by first, we shall have to discuss later on about the system that we have developed that is capturing the non-tariff barriers and also the electronic certification. So Trademark basically had to buy the equipments to develop the system. Although the expertise to develop the system was from inside the chamber, we have a very good IT team. They could do the software part, but the hardware part, computers, servers, scanners, they had to provide to us not only the headquarters, but we have the branches in 25 regions of Tanzania mainland. So in each office, we have equipments supported by Trademark East Africa, but also the technical support. Like I'm a technical person in international trade, and I'm being supported by Trademark East Africa. So it helps now to build the capacity of the chamber to really address these issues related to non-tariff barriers.
Okay, and how does this system actually work, this non-tariff barriers, SMS, reporting or monitoring system actually work?
Yeah, this is another fantastic system that is computer-based. And we just started it in 2012. And it really, within 1 year, it had already showed a very big success to the point that we won a global award from the International Chamber of Commerce in Doha, Qatar, as one of the international best projects. You see, we are in the competition with the giants like China, USA, but we were in the top 5 of the finalists because the system was addressing the issues that were touching people from the grassroots. And how it works, initially before the existence of this system, a trader experienced a problem at Namanga, could not know where he will really have to report the case. So with the SMS system, a trader can just send a simple SMS. And once the SMS comes in the server, I get a replica message, I get a copy of the message in my mobile phone. So even if I'm at the office or home, I can check and read what is the challenge. If I find the challenge is related to, say, Revenue Authority, we have a focal person in each government institutions who is really set apart by the government to ensure he is making follow-up of the issues reported by the private sector. So by a simple message, within few hours, I could receive a message, get in touch with the person responsible, a person get in touch with the officer on ground, and the issue is sorted. We have done this in a number of cases. For example, in some cases at Namanga, Mutukula, Sirar, these are the borders. A woman is just trying to cross the border. And because of just not carrying a simplified certificate, here's the comprehensive one, the officer on the other side of the border will stop her. No, you cannot pass. Now, by sending an SMS, I get it, I can now get in touch with the officer in charge at the Revenue Authority. And Tanzania Revenue Authority will call Kenya Revenue Authority. And immediately, within few hours or minutes, the issue is sorted. And the system has 2 platforms. One is SMS, as I have explained. And the SMS is special for the business community because most of them do not know about email issues or computer issues. But the second component is the online system. The online component is a special one for our regional officers. We have regional officers in 25 regions, as I've said. And these one will gather the issues within the local environment and enter them in the system. And I get them online and I work on them right away. That's how it works in brief. Okay,
so how many cases have been reported so far and maybe been resolved to date?
We have been operating for about 3 years now, and the system was registered 87 cases. These are big cases because one case could contain number of issues. If you mention of police roadblocks, there could be occurrences at several spots. So we are really saying 87 cases, but there are a lot of cases below each case. And out of the 87, about 54% of the total reported cases have been eliminated, and the remaining percentage are at the different level of resolution. You see, some of the cases are not that simple. They are maybe policy-related cases that require a long-term intervention with the government to ensure a policy is changed or a law is repealed, or such cases. Yeah.
Okay, and what kind of challenges do you face in implementing such a system, though?
The biggest challenge that we face is really awareness to the business community. We were aiming really to ensure almost every exporter is aware of the system. But the country is big, and going out for the entire country requires a lot of resources. Therefore, I'll say we still need more resources in terms of creating awareness about the system itself. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge that we face. Maybe the other challenge could be cases that are reported but are not really non-tariff barriers. You see, we capture everything, but only a few could qualify technically to be non-tariff barriers. So if we can really design a more comprehensive communication kind of program to the business community to create more awareness, to ensure only relevant cases are being reported, that will help a lot.
Okay, I understand you also issue electronic certificates of origin. How has this helped in terms of improving trade within the regions?
Yeah, certificates of origin is the core in the regional integration. We are talking of East Africa community, a region which is at the higher level of integration, common market level. Common market level is a relatively bigger level of integration. Before common market, we have customs union. And in customs union, we talk of common external tariff. We talk of zero tariff within the products traded within the territory. And you cannot trade in the customs union or in the region, for example, if you don't have certificate of origin. Certificate of origin is like your birth certificate. In human beings, we use birth certificate. In products, it's a certificate of origin to show that this product is coming from Tanzania, is manufactured in Tanzania, and then it can qualify for preferential treatment once it accesses the market within the other 4 partner states. This is the same even with the other regions, SADC. If you don't have the certificate of origin for SADC, for example, you cannot access the SADC market. In SADC, we have about 19 countries. In the EAC, we have 5 countries. The 5 countries is the market of 140 people. With SADC, only 19 countries, but a huge market, 200 million people plus. And now, currently, we are talking of the tripartite, the coming together of the 3 blocks, the coming together of the EAC, SADC, and COMESA. As we are talking today, people are discussing on signing the tripartite, which is now going to be a comprehensive program of about 26 African countries. It's a huge market, 700 million people. If you really now need to access the opportunities within these blocks, you need to have certificate of origin. You need to ensure your products are originating. So before we give you a certificate, that is like baptizing you, qualifying you for really accessing the market, we need to do some verification. And we have about 4 types of criteria we are looking at in collaboration with the revenue authorities though. And a product could be wholly produced. For example, you are trading a cattle, which is a cow, goat, which is born and raised in Tanzania. That we say it is a wholly produced, nothing imported. That's one criteria. Second criteria could be material content. And in material content, we talk of 60-40% rule, where you need to import 60 materials of the products, contents of the products from outside, and the 40 should be coming from the local market. In the local, we talk of 5 countries. It could come from Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. We regard it as local. And the third criteria is what we call value addition. And in value addition is where most people do not yet understand that they have opportunities, for example, to import all the inputs, all the raw materials from outside, and only add value, maybe in terms of technology, in terms of manpower, in terms of energy consumption, the local energy consumption, and it should not go really below the 35% of the local value addition. And the last one is what we call as tariff, change of tariff heading. You find some products could be imported in different tariff heading. For example, a very good example I usually give is the plastic granules. You import these granules from from China, for example. Then you change the plastic granules into water bottles. it is already qualified because it was imported under different tariff heading. Now it is being traded at a different tariff heading. So these 4 criteria are the one that we baptize, are the one that we give the certificate against. And before exporter exports, it needs to be registered by the chamber.
Can you explain a little bit more about the partnership within the national monitoring committees on working towards the elimination of non-tariff barriers? What has been done so far?
This committee was established after the Council Directive of the EAC. That's what we call as a TIFI Council Committee, meaning the ministers from the EAC region are responsible for trade, investment, and finance. In 2007, they realized 2 years down the road after the establishment of Customs Union. You see, the EAC Customs Union was established in 2005. And in the provision, in the treaty, and in the protocol of the Customs Union, it was stated that member countries should cease from imposing non-tariff barriers and be committed to eliminate the by then existing non-tariff barriers. But 2 years later, they realized the non-tariff barriers are still intact. Of course, they were increasing. Then they had to propose a new approach of addressing that and directed each country to form a committee that will be addressing these challenges. And they formed a National Monitoring Committee. And in Tanzania, it is being supported by Trademark East Africa as well, the meetings and everything that is happening. And we have about 38 agencies within the committee. These are government and private sector agencies, ministries and agencies. The Minister of Industry and Trade is chairing the committee, and Tanzania Chamber of Commerce is co-chairing the committee at the private sector focal point for non-tariff barriers. Therefore, these committees are really picking up the issues that our system collects from the ground and then discuss them. We used to meet each after 1 month, but now we have changed to be quarterly meetings. We meet each after 3 months. But it doesn't mean that when a case is reported, it has to wait for 3 months. We have already developed a working kind of model in which any time I can get in touch with the responsible officer. And you see, in the East Africa community, in 2012, we had about 27 cases related to Tanzania. But as of now, we have tried, by working with NMC and the regional level, we only have 7 cases related to Tanzania. Here I'm talking of the cases that are at the regional level. I'm not talking at behind the border issues.
Okay, and maybe finally, what has been done so far to make sure that the business and trade environment within the region is improved?
Yeah, talking of the regional level, there are a lot of interventions that are ongoing. One is the establishment of the regional forum, for example, of non-tariff barrier. We meet each after 3 months to discuss the issues that are touching more than one country. You see, for example, exporter from Tanzania has encountered a problem in Kenya. We need to meet with Kenya at the regional level and address that. So we meet 5 partner states each after 3 months. We table the issues. As technicians, we discuss them and we resolve them. In case we fail to resolve, there are issues that are beyond the technical level. We submit them to the Sectoral Council of Ministers. Then the ministers will give an ultimate decision on each case. You see, a typical example could be a case of Kenya. Kenya are producing vehicles, for example, but the vehicles do not meet the rules of origin. So they were complaining. When we discussed at the technical level, we failed to reach the consensus. We had to push it to the ministerial level. Then they will give the directive whether the cars from Kenya should be traded within the EAC region or not.
Welcome back to Business Edition, and now in the Entrepreneur today, I have with me Azim Jama. He's the founder, Corporate Sufi Worldwide. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Yvonne.
It's nice having you.
Nice to be here.
You're an inspirational speaker. What exactly do you do?
So for the last 30 years, I've been working with leaders across the world, mostly MDs and top-level leaders, and I've discovered that most of these leaders, almost every one of them, have primarily 3 issues. One is they're always trying to get better in business. It never ends. Even Tim Cook at Apple wants to get better. They are struggling with the elusive balance, the 24/7 lifestyle we lead, how to find balance between your health, your family, your spirituality, your business, your finance. And the third part is how to find meaning and purpose in what I do. What's the reason? So at Corporate Sufi Worldwide, we made it our mission to unleash the power within of people, and also to help them find harmony between business, balance, and beyond.
Okay, how did you get started though? You know, what led you into this business?
So I was an accountant. I had 3 professional accounting degrees. I was an ACCA from England, a chartered financial planner, and a CPA in Canada. And I went to do some work with refugees, and I was shaken by the poverty. I cried like a baby. My soul was shaken, and I wanted to help people like those. And I realized that as an accountant, I will not be the top accountant in the world, even though I was very clever and I had 3 degrees, and I had 4 businesses I used to own, and now I have 2 businesses. But I realized I would never be the top in the world. So what can I do in my life that I can be on the top in the world and make a difference to people like that with my message? And so I decided to change from accounting for business to accounting for life, and talk about giving and inspiring people to help people who are in need.
To be able to talk, to convince people, you know, the message that you're trying to get across, you have to do, you know, it takes practice and experience. So how did you get started though?
You know, I believe that everybody is born with a gift, okay, some gift in life. I call it the birthday gift, what you're born with. And I think my birthday gift was to inspire, but I found it at the age of 43. I'm 61 now. Don't I look 40, but I'm 61.
Yes, you do look 40.
But I changed my career at the age of 43, so it's never too late. And communication is a very important skill that we need. And in Tanzania, the communication skill, the writing skills are so important, but I had it naturally in me, which helped me to be able to inspire because I had the natural talent. However, it's a talent you can also learn by getting coaching and help from other people to improve your speaking and communication skills, which are very, very important. But I had a natural skill which helped, but I still developed it. You know, the best in the world never stop learning. Ronaldo is the best player in the world in soccer, but he still got as a coach and he still gets better. Same as Lionel Messi. So all of us can improve in our communication skills and our speaking skills and other areas of our business.
When you meet these businesses that you come across every day in your life, what are the kind of issues that they raise to you?
So it depends who you have, right? I was doing a talk in Johannesburg last week. I had the top 20 people, top 20 MDs, because we had a meeting, we had a session where they allowed only 20 people. We had a waiting list of people, but I only saw 20. And I started my session by asking them, what do you want? What do you want from life? Here are people who are making $100 million US revenue. They're big shots. And I went and they responded, none of them said I want money. They said I want meaning, I want purpose, I want fulfillment, I want happiness. So they were all looking for something beyond, right? But they're very successful people. So that's one area. And I had another session, we had more than 3,000 people. All these people are mid-management and above. They needed money, they wanted success, they wanted communication skills, they wanted to be able to speak better. So it depends who you talk to, right? But at the end of the day, once you become very successful, then you realize there is more to life than just material things. But when you're on the journey towards success, of course, if you don't have food, then food becomes very important. When you're halfway, then you want to get better. So I'm not saying that people who are at MD level don't want to get better. They do want to get better, but that's not the only thing that consumes their life. That's why I say it's business, balance, and beyond, right?
Mm-hmm. And here in Tanzania, what kind of issues do they raise? I mean, I know when it comes to human capital, that is a big issue in the country. Is that something that
yes,
you come across?
Absolutely. You talk to any MD, any leader in the country, they'll say finding good people is a very difficult task. When you get good people, they get pushed by other people. So it's a big challenge. So, developing the human talent, developing human skills in terms of how they communicate well, how they manage their time well, how they are, confident in what they do. All these things are very important for them to succeed in their own life, but also help the organization succeed. And if you are good, it's not how much you make, it's what you become. If you become a great leader, if you become a great employee, if you become a great business person, then you can climb the ladder of success. And there's a huge need in Tanzania, and that's why Mikono speakers and others who do these events are trying to really raise the human capital and the talent in the country. And I think people should support these kind of activities because it's not easy to organize these events. Like Brian Tracy and myself are here now. To get us both here, it's not easy, right? So Mikono speakers had to spend a lot of time, energy, and effort to make it happen. And it's still, people are not still, so excited about learning and about growing, and therefore it's not easy to attract people. But we've had some very successful events. I've had 3 events with them, and they've all been very successful. And so their effort is paying off.
Okay, when you're talking about the successes, what impact have you been able to have?
So, even whenever I speak, I think like in Joburg, I give an example, we had 3,000 people. I had at least 400 people come to me one-on-one to say, Azim, your message really hit home. It resonated with us, about purpose, about meaning, about balance, about, aligning your work with your principles, with your passion. And when people said that to you, you know that you've touched somebody. In the YPO event that I had 20 top MDs, and they had to evaluate my session on 3 areas: on impact, on delivery, and on engagement. So I got, on impact, I got 9.5 out of 10, average out of 20 people. On engagement, I got 9.6 out of 10. And on delivery, I got 9.4 out of 10. So I got an average of 9.5 in impact, delivery, and engagement. Now, these are people who are really top of their game. They have very small listening skills. They don't really pay attention to anybody because they know it all. So you can see if you can make a difference with people at that level and people who are average people who come to you, 400 people, to tell you this, you're making a difference. So in my work, I can do this in my sleep because I actually get energy when I work. So even if I sleep 3-4 hours, I can go with it because what I do makes me more energetic than tired.
Okay, so this is something that keeps you going, something that you have a passion for, but at the end of the day, you have to make money of it, isn't it? And is it something that you can make money out of if somebody wants to start a business like yours?
So very good question, Yvonne. It's been 18 years I've been in the game. First 10 to 12 years, I really struggled. If I didn't have my accounting businesses, which my wife said we shouldn't sell, I would have been bankrupt. It was difficult. There was one year I spoke 185 times in the world. I didn't make anything. The following year I spoke 187 times.
And you never felt like giving up?
So my accounting business helped me. But the reason I didn't feel like giving up, because I had a goal larger than self. It's not about me. Because I changed my career because I wanted to help people who are struggling. And I want to talk about giving so people could make a difference. And I had a goal larger than self, so my subject, which is my ego, disappeared in the object, which is the goal. And therefore I was unstoppable. Until one day when I had spent 10,000 hours writing my first book, which is called 7 Steps to Lasting Happiness, and I couldn't find my book in the bookstore. And I said, I put 5 years of my full-time effort and I can't even put it in the bookstore. How will I help people, the refugees who I want to help? Because I can't help myself. And as I was walking away, depressed, one book fell on my lap. And this book was of a person who was going to commit suicide and ended up selling 36 million copies of his books. So I said, no, if he can do it, why can't I do it? So there's a message from somewhere above that don't give up. So I ran home to my home and went on my homepage on my website, corporatesufi.com, and I put a quote: when the night is the darkest, dawn or early morning is the closest. Things didn't change overnight, but gradually they changed. Then my book became number 1 on Amazon in 2005, beating Harry Potter. In 2008, it was number 1 again on Amazon. 2009 was number 1 on Barnes & Noble. At that time, it was the biggest bookstore chain in the world. I won a Nautilus Gold Award for books that changed lives. Previous winners were Dalai Lama and Deepak Chopra. So things started to happen. Now my books are in 10 languages, spoken to more than 1 million people live in 26 countries. More than 5 million people in media-wise have got my message. So things now are better. But the saying, it takes you 20 years to become an overnight success, is very true.
Okay, so for somebody who's thinking about joining or getting into a business like what you're doing, what key messages would you give them? At least 3.
First is, believe in your message. Be authentic. When you're not authentic, people can see you from a mile. You cannot fake it. People don't just look at your words, they look at your body, they look at your soul, they look at your spirit. So whatever you want, if you want to become in this business, learn to be authentic. And it seems very easy to be authentic, but it's actually very difficult. Even though being authentic should be so natural because you're born, just be yourself. But we're conditioned by our parents, we're conditioned by our teachers, we're conditioned by our peers. So you start to do things that what other people want you to do, but you don't do things from here. So when you look at a flower, the flower blooms so naturally, so effortlessly. When you see a bird fly, it flies so naturally and effortlessly. When you see a star shine, it's so natural and so effortless. Why are human beings struggling so much? Because we've forgotten to be so natural, so effortless, which is our authenticity. So number 1, if you want to go in this business, learn to be authentic. Number 2, it's not a quick fix. It's going to take a while. You got to work hard at it. You got to be focused. You got to keep going, because it's not overnight success. The saying 20 years to become overnight success has some value. So be ready for the long haul, but keep persisting, keep persisting. And if you keep persisting, you can be world class. And number 3 is that, get away from low level activities. Work at a high level, because if you get carried away with low level activities, your energy, your time, your resources will go into low level activities. So if you want to be a speaker, focus on speaking. If you want to be a communicator, focus on communication. If you want to be a leader, focus on leader, but don't try to do 20 things. If you do 20 things, you've got energy scattered. You cannot be world class at 20 things. You can be world class at one thing. Not even two, but one thing. So decide who are you, what you're born with, what is your birthday gift, and then develop it. The world-class people like Ronaldo and Messi and Brian Tracy don't stop learning because they want to get better. They have hunger. They have a burning desire. And if you don't have a burning desire, make it your burning desire to have a burning desire. Otherwise, you won't succeed. And be a lifelong learner. Keep learning. And you get events like this, go and participate because one idea can change your life.
Well, that's it from me, Yvonne Msamembo. Until next week, same time, it's goodbye from Business Edition.